Hello, everyone, and welcome back. It's your buddy Isaac, and welcome. Brain is not working right now, but we are going to be playing an awesome Warhammer 40K game. If you guys haven't realized this, I do like 40K. I just haven't played one in a while. So we're playing Road Trader, which is done by the same people who did Pathfinder. Now, I am going to be more honest. Like, I do enjoy these kind of games a little bit better than I like D&D and Pathfinder, mainly because, you know, I was former Jehovah's Witness, so I'm much more interested in sci-fi, but we're gonna get up to it. I'm gonna go with normal. So here's some pre-mades. We have Bahador, Darius, Hector. We're gonna make our own custom character, because why not? Okay. Please set your portrait tracing images in the folder. Ah, okay, cool. Eh. I mean, that is one heck of a mustache we got going there. Anybody want to go Paw Patrol? No, I don't think so. Yes, very dashing. I'm sorry, I'm just being amused by this. Okay. Blackbeard pirate. Ahoy. The wizard. Excuse me while I spend like several minutes doing this. Mutton chops. Very British. Very Kung Fu master. I'm sorry, I'm so getting canceled. Oh, for this. Haha, the dashing road. I like.
Macro cannons, volley!
So this is where we can choose augmentations. Uh-oh, someone got me nose. Eh.
Unleash. Engage the engines. Time to reap the... Stay faithful, and you will be rewarded.
What you doing, kitty cat?
Stay for the glory of the dynasty.
Sure, we'll go with that. So this is our home world, Death World. Death World's plants yeah, Death Worlds are pretty much holy crap. Everything's trying to kill you. Survival instinct once per turn. Combat and the wounds of the Death World character drop below 30%. They gain 20% of their maximum wounds as temporary wounds. Okay, cool. Brutal Hunter, trusty weapon. Death World characters gain 15% critical chance. The scars, capacity. Oh. I was trying to read that. Move forward. Voidborn are humans birthed in the belly of a vessel or aboard an ancient orbital satellite. Those who have lived their lives on void ships become inured to the extent due to the reality altering process of war travel and living in a low or zero gravity environment. Fellowship value instead, but the fellowship is superior. Cool. That's interesting. And a 10% bonus. I guess we'll go with Imperial World. I like that. Let's go with toughness because we need to be able to do pretty well. Master Militarum, commonly known as the Imperial Guard. All their allies deal an additional plus 22 plus 2 times perception bonus damage. The enemies that are adjacent to the commander or their allies in the end of the commander's next turn. Hamazar. Characteristics modifier. Ooh. Okay, So I won't lie, I did play this game a little bit. I'm very tempted by Commissar here. Not really a crime lord dude. Ministorum priest. No thanks. Brace for impact. Noble, yay. Sanction Psyker. Yeah, we'll just go with Commissar, because that's the one I like the most here. Brilliant. Of all who perish in brutal offenses still haunt your nightmares and torture your soul. Shadow of Torment. Don't plan on being a warrior that's mainly charged. I'm looking for range. Officer immediately grants an ally an extra turn with action points equal to 2 and no movement. A buddy of mine actually has been playing gun reveal. So I was playing a soldier last time, but I think what I'll do is play officer this go around. Up my ballistic since I want to do ranged. Go. So, we got a sword class frigate. Cool. Edit the name. No, 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 no. Oh boy. First forged. I'm really bad at naming stuff. Sorry. I guess we'll just go with Unforgiven. Rogue Trader. Yeah, we're not gonna go around being called Rogue Trader. Sorry. Isaac the Gamer, there we go. Now we know why they mutinied on me. I kept beating them in Mario Kart. There's a thing in the past that I picked was that we were beaten up by a mutiny of guardsmen. It's like, they mutinied on me. Kept kicking their butt in Mario Kart.
place for contemplation. One has the best view of the cathedral from here. Mesmerizing, wouldn't you say? An impeccable manifestation of the God Emperor's sublimity.
Really an awe-inspiring sight.
That is the purpose of all temples to the God Emperor, to inspire awe and reverence. For it is the duty of his servants to persevere in their tireless service until they are presented with the chance to give their very life for the master of humanity. Allow me to introduce myself. Conrad Voigtveer, Master of Whispers, in the employ of Her Ladyship Rogue Trader Theodora von Valencias. At your service. I haven't had the pleasure of speaking with you in person before.
Divisional Commissar of Officios Prospectus. I think the gang.
My regards, Commissar. Finding you was a difficult task given your parents' fate and your upbringing in the Schola Progenium. Truly, our meeting is an act of providence, is it not? I will be frank with you. You may forget your past titles, no matter who gave them to you, or what their origins are. From the moment you and the other candidate were brought aboard this void ship, your fate changed. You now serve Lord Captain Theodora von Valencias, and carry the burden of an heir of this house. Henceforth, you share your dynastic name with Her Ladyship. Bear it with honor.
Lord Captain, a strange title for Lady Theodora.
Such are the traditions of the Imperium. Lord Captain is the title that was established in the annals of the Lex Imperialis at the time when the first rogue traders entered the God Emperor's service, and therefore, it is sacrosanct.
Why am I aboard this vessel? Why have I been brought here?
So that you may fulfill your blood duty. Whatever obligations you had before, they are henceforth null and void. By order of the Lord Captain, you have been requisitioned to serve the rogue trader, indeed blessed by the God Emperor. I see that you are shocked. Yes, you understood correctly. Lady Theodora's authority indeed supersedes that of those whom you obeyed before. The Lord Captain's power is so great that she is capable of performing unthinkable feats, such as changing the fate of a servant of the Imperium. Your fate.
You have a curious title, Master of Whispers. What are your responsibilities?
To put it plainly, I am the head of the network of spies and informers who serve the interests of House von Valencias. I uncover weak links both among Lady Theodora's retinue and in the ranks of her rivals. I eliminate our vulnerabilities and exploit those of others.
Tell me, on whose ship have I found myself?
I would rather not discuss the Lord Captain behind her back, especially not on board her ship. No one knows better than I that whispers are wont to attract particularly close attention. Suffice it to say that Her Ladyship is the bearer of the sacred warrant of trade and a woman of immense power and entitlement. However privileged your position may be, I ask that you do not incur her anger by being disrespectful or obtuse. Lady Theodora despises both qualities.
Indeed. Sorry, I was finding it rather unbearably cold. I assume you had some goal in mind when you decided to seek me out. Let us address it.
But of course, I have come to invite you to a meeting with Lady Theodora. I imagine you have many questions for your patroness, and I'm sure she has just as many questions for you. It is regrettable that you haven't yet had an opportunity to speak. It has been an arduous voyage thus far.
All
The
right.
Lord Captain and Master Edelthrat von Valencius are conversing on the observation platform. Let us join them there.
Very well.
A new challenge for me. It's about time.
Okay, so that tells us.
Victory awaits! None shall stand in my way.
We are the Lord Commissar.
One of the von Valencius trophy rooms. Perhaps you would like to take a look around after your audience with the Lord Captain.
What's happening?
Ooh, that's ugly.
Run! The servitors have gone berserk!
We do not run before the enemy is within fire.
Feel my wrath!
Ooh. Ow.
All too easy. Not a problem for me. Not my specialty. I'll pass. I don't have time for this.
Ooh.
Suits my purposes. Already done.
What suspiciously poor timing for such an accident. Servitors malfunction on the officer's deck at exactly the same moment when the rogue trader and her heirs are gathered here. I have blocked all passages between the upper and lower sectors of the residential decks. If this is a deliberate attack, it should stop the culprits from advancing their plan.
We'll see about that.
I'm afraid I must remain here. For Lady Theodora's safety, I have to oversee the execution of these orders personally. I hope you will have no difficulty reaching the observation platform on your own. It is just at the end of this corridor.
Very well.
Follow my lead.
Very suspicious indeed.
I'll lay claim to the stars. It's about time.
So these are all Valencia's interesting little bobs that they've collected.
I won't tolerate weakness.
All right. Let's go.
Victory awaits.
This is basically just a giant cathedral on a ship. It is simply irrational, Lady Theodora. Assimilation into the trade structure would be political and economic suicide, practically admission of heresy. They suggested an alternative that will satisfy me. I have described the situation no worse than my seneschal could have done. Make a decision. What will you do with it? Do with Aeon 4, Aeon 6 Edelthred. Surveil the room. First impression of Edelthred, who appears to be about 30 years old, is in parchment skin like stretched over tightly bundled mass of sinew, implants, and bone. Theodora, our second candidate, has joined us. As the game approach and give me your answer. Those spirits could well be the natives' name for dangerous aliens. I'd first verify if that is indeed the case, and if the population of AN6 engages in Xeno worship. Theodora arches an eyebrow. Reasonable and prudent. However, chasing after ethereal creatures may prove rather a long and fruitless endeavor. Edelthred scoffs. Apart from Xenos on an untrodden planet, might be teeming with myriad of horrors that are far more dangerous and difficult to eradicate. I suspect that you, Isaac the Gamer, are simply unaware of their existence. We're both servants of the God Emperor and Lady Theodora. Does it become any one of our status to engage in petty feuds? Even among his flock, not all are of a piece. I suggest you familiarize with yourself with that fact before you are sorely There are questions. Why are you here? There are questions I wish to have answered. You are direct. I approve. You will have to wait. There is something I want you to understand first. My name is Theodora van Felicius, Massissimo of Secrus. I am a rogue trader in the service of the God Emperor of humanity. And my rights and freedoms have been indicated by a most sacred relic. The warrant of trade, kept aboard this very vessel. Mine is the honor to venture into the darkness beyond the Imperium and carry humanity's lights where powers wicked and heretical reign and bode death and ruin to us all. It is my decision alone to determine the fate of whatever I find past the bounds of the explored void. Every world I discover, along with all that there is to find thereon, resources, people, riches, and mysteries, is mine by right. I command millions of lives, rule over numerous planets, and possess fortunes that no planetary governor or commander could dream of amassing. And you are one of those of the Von Valancius bloodline in their veins, and a rightful claim to this inheritance when the hour comes. I am ready to take on this sacred purpose. Oh yes, you would be, wouldn't you? The question is, am I ready to choose you over the rest? You came aboard hours before the warp jump, and have not yet distinguished yourself in any way. As things currently stand, I have doubts that you are suitable for the role of rogue trader. Blood right alone is not enough to earn the high honor of becoming the bearer of a warrant of trade. Nevertheless, your abilities and talents may yet prove useful. If not for the role of Lord Captain, then for their closest ally. Theodora sighs and looks away pensively for a brief moment. Alas, even those responsibility can at times be challenging for those who share blood. Conrad Wojtyla served me for many years before he made his mistake. Did I hear you correctly? The Master of Whisperers is related to you. His kinship is most distant to me. Is most distant, as is yours. Nevertheless, he does bear the name Von Valancius. Even if he avoids using it publicly, and as such, strictly speaking, can be considered my heir. That door, however, is closed to him. That Wojtyla's performance in his current role is satisfactory. Or used to be, at least. Thank you for clarifying. May I ask my questions? Meow. Meow. The box affixed to Theodora's attire suddenly comes to life. All you can hear is unintelligible noise. Moonpie, what is getting into you, buddy? Oh, no! Cat! I love you, buddy, but sometimes... An incident took place on the officer's deck. Some saboteurs went berserk and attacked the crew. Is that so? Perhaps the technomats were careless during the maintenance. Or it could be the war playing tricks on us in spite of the Geller field. Or perhaps there is something to all the stories about the ship being possessed after all. The gray-haired officer gives the rogue trader a look of cautious disapproval. Lady Theodora, for the God Emperor's sake, surely you do not intend to start repeating idle rumors spread about by uneducated riffraff. No, Moonpie. Hang on, guys, I gotta go get Cat. Sorry, everybody, I had to take a minute to soothe the cat. Someone was being me feeling. Yes, you were. You're being a little feeling. Enough, Abelard. The hearsay amuses me. Idira eagerly retells me everything she learns from the whispers of her unseen advisor. He turns to you. The ship is thousands of years old. It has enough hidden nooks, malfunctioning computators, and unused compartments to make ignorant folk speak of specters dwelling inside the bulkheads and plotting against those who yet live. Yeah. Navigator, translation. Sometimes I forget that people without direct access to the ship's bridge may not know the first thing about how a void ship travels between the stars. Vessels such as this one are capable of traveling, leaving real space and traversing into the warp. An otherworldly dimension of cruel and unthinkable forces. By entering it under the protection of the Geller field, we shorten the route to our destination, crossing distances that would require hundreds of years in a matter of weeks. Dead. Sometimes in days or even hours. That is how humanity spread across the galaxy. That is how we were able to build the Imperium, which spans millions of stars. No kidding. So, to translate for those of you not from understanding here, so you know how different sci-fi franchises explain interstellar travel and faster than light travel? You want to know what Warhammer does? They literally tear open a hole in the fabric of reality and fly their ships straight through literal hell. Not figurative, literal, demon-filled hell dimension. They literally take a shortcut through Satan's backyard, practically. What are my current responsibilities? Observe, learn, absorb. It will take time for you to find the repair and support this vessel. And in your new position, eventually I will find a post that suits you, as I did with Ethelthrad. Until that time comes, consider yourself my aide. I've no more questions. In that case, I shall do Theodore's Fox awakens once more. This time you pick up the shouting. The Lord Captain freezes, listening to the Voxcast, then nods and draws her weapon. Disturbances reported on the adjacent decks. Seneschal. The need arises. Protect the new blood. She glances at you. It is possible that the chance to prove your worth may present itself sooner than you may have anticipated. Yay, heretics! Time to slaughter!
Death will find you soon enough! I'll turn you to corpse now. I took care of this one.
Dang.
Reduced to dust.
Oof. Mort. Bro just vaporizes some dudes.
Just a minor setback.
Ow! You douche. That's okay.
Opposing me was your biggest mistake. Nothing I can't do. Absolutely not.
Close command. Okay. So we can end our turn here. Plasma pistol.
You were tough.
Damn. Abelard is just like murder.
I've suffered worse.
Dang. Go get him, Abelard. Bro took him.
Let's see how they respond to this. Suits my purposes.
Get shot.
You didn't stand a chance.
Theodora waves her hand in a commanding gesture. More, take a team with you and clear a path to the transport line. Do not let a single horseman survive. The rogue trader turns her eyes to you. Didn't bat an eye when the scum burst into the deck, Not bad. I have seen many an officer who panicked at the sight of a combat in the upper decks. The false sense of security offered by their position makes them that much more vulnerable to the harsh realities of warp travel. The incident with rampaging servitors may be connected with what is transpiring now. Possibly, quite likely. Winces and flicks the switch on her Vox a few times. We will investigate it at a later time. Right now, we need to isolate the affected compartment and try to assess the situation. What is happening? From what we have seen, I can speculate they were dealing with some variety of madness induced by the warp travel. Such episodes are not uncommon among voidsmen who found themselves outside the boundaries of real space, though such episodes seldom spill onto our decks. Theodora clicks her Vox a few times. The casters are not working, or have been sabotaged. Either the warp is toying with us, or someone went to great lengths to cut the ship's communication. I will need a direct channel to the engine seer prime before I can get a sense of what we're up against. Whatever it may be, keep your weapons at the ready. I imagine there will be some time before we no longer need them. How could there be armed people in the ranks of the crew who would dare attack the Lord Captain? Trust me, this is hardly surprising for a crew of thousands. The lower decks are a fertile environment for discontent and heresy. No matter how one tries to incinerate any seed such before it can take root, all it takes is a hint of warp influence to cloud the minds of normally obedient cattle. Sporadic riots on the lower decks never reach these compartments. No, the tumults of the rabble are always contained within their own territory. This is too well organized. It is spread too rapidly. What are your orders? He breaks eye contact with you. Mort has gone on ahead to clear a path for us. If you want to make yourself useful, go after him and see if the Arc Militant requires aid. And quick about it. I am. Yay, I have like
Follow my lead!
a crappy little revolver. Yeah. Conrad Vuctavir. Thank Providence you're alive and well. Always on time, eh, Conrad? The moment we've finished chasing the riffraff around the deck, you show up. It was just after the fighting's done. You could set your chrono by it. Mort, pull yourself together. What? Did the Lord Captain send you to chivvy us along? We're all done here. A reporter right away. Master of Whispers, what is happening on my ship? The Voxnet is silent, and the Voxmaster is not responding. Armed assailants have stormed the officer's deck, and my Arch Militant just destroyed several more heretics on the way here. Is this a severe case of warp madness? Have some of my crew lost their minds and forgot who they are and whom they serve? Report! I've not received word from the engineer regarding any Gallerfield failure. The communications were already unstable half an hour ago. They've ceased altogether. Whatever the cause may be, the consequences are spreading fast. I am receiving scattered reports from the middle decks, and the only Voxcasters from the lower bays are one-way heretical gibberish. That the madmen have already reached the officer's deck suggests that this outrage was planned in advance, perhaps, and this is an organized mutiny. A mutiny against the Emperor's anointed? Execute the traitors, every last one of them. We must provide immediate assistance to those still on the middle decks. Perhaps then we might stop this wave from spreading. This is indeed a severe case of warp madness, then the situation is dire. First, we have to confirm that the bridge and the navigator sanctum are secure, and have the means to do both things at once. Her expression changes as ominously. Ittlethrad, where is he? I must know if he's unharmed. A psyker aboard a ship that is potentially being assailed by the warp could pose a greater threat to himself than a whole army of madmen with improvised weapons. I tried to locate him, but the last thing known about his movements is that he arrived on transitional deck 18. Blast it, Master of Whispers. Find Ittlethrad immediately. Seneschal, locate Talos, the Sister of Battle. The last and the Sister of Battle. Both are to remain at my side. Arch Militant, with me. I must go to my study, and it appears that we might encounter heretics along the way. Isaac the Gamer. If I may, Lord Captain, transitional deck 18 is at the heart of the disturbance. And if our goal is to bring Ittlethrad back, you could use some support. After all, I'm not as adept at directly confronting enemies of the house as the esteemed Arch Militant. I'm taking into consideration Ittlethrad's psyker powers. Then it is settled. Isaac, find Ittlethrad and bring him here, in whatever state you find him. This elevator points at the massive doors, leads to a restricted compartment such as my personal chambers and the bridge. Do not let me down. I require you both. Do you understand? I hear and obey, Captain. Then move out. Mort, come. A long way walking, you do not You had better not fail me. The Lord Captain made it clear that relying on you is fraught with risk. I see you have quickly earned Lady Theodora's trust. She is already sharing her closely guarded secrets with you. But that is no longer relevant. With a pop and a sharp crackle, something hits you in the abdomen, and you are consumed by unbearable gut-wrenching pain. I promised you a special destiny. It's the time I fulfill it. Of course he's a traitorous Zeech. Traitor! Oh! Heretic!
Careful, careful. Be gentle with our guest. He has an important mission to complete during our visit to the Warrant Chamber. And for that, I need him breathing. Oh, you are back with us, I see. Delightful.
You two-faced scum, you're the one behind this mayhem.
How perceptive of you. I'll help you with the next insight. I need you here for your blood. You have the option to share it voluntarily, or I will squeeze it out of you myself. We are in the anteroom of the Warrant Chamber, this void ship's most hallowed vault. There, beyond those gates, lies the relic that gives Theodora all of her power. The sacred Warrant of Trade. Only one obstacle remains on my path to obtaining it. The gates of the chamber are guarded by the Sentinel, an ancient device that will only open the door to a true heir of the dynasty. I expected to do this part myself, but never mind. You will offer your blood to the Sentinel.
What is it, inbred? Your blood too thin for the Sentinel?
On the contrary, the Warp's blessing has raised me too much above your kind, Fon Valencius. The Sentinel refused to submit to me. But you can help. After all, isn't that what family is for?
What sorry, pathetic excuse do you have? Given half of your apostasy, you sordid, wretched piece of Grok's crap.
Wretched? What do you know about wretchedness? Theodora's cur. Are you hoping to buy a grain of her indulgence with your blind loyalty? Oh, I know this delusion. But thank the gods it no longer has power over me. Humanity can rot. I no longer serve mortal kind. Once my work is done, I'll make that pompous wench Fon Valencius watch as I sacrifice her entire dynasty and commit their fate to the gods. And you will be the instrument by which I will accomplish this righteous act.
Quite the voice. The blade flashes in the dim light and drops of blood appear on your palm. For a brief moment, you feel nauseous. Your head is spinning. Then quiet whispers begin to flood in your mind. More and more voiceless voices echo together, drowning out your own thoughts. Fight the voices. Like you keep, it's basically laughing at it as like you try to fight, but you can't. So not even a willpower save. You carefully inspect the design of the gate cogitator. What immediately catches your eyes is a strange alloy that was used to as material for the mechanism's components, some of which are unfamiliar to you. You suspect this might become not be some kind of Archaeotech relic.
Did you forget something?
Several minutes pass, the sentinel's jaw remain closed, and you are beginning to feel sick. Perhaps if you were to lean against the gate, you could catch your breath. Maybe you can close your eyes and pretend none of this is
High
happening.
levels of caustic humus. The subject is in a state of heightened stress. Do you require assistance?
Yes, I do require assistance.
Request accepted. Initiating defense protocol.
Haha! Get wrecked. Say hello to turrets.
Well,
And
there is still
flamethrowers.
another way. A new challenge for me?
Let it be known that by my will and by the true words of this document, I appoint this person.
Escort the child of the house to safety.
I need to contact someone, preferably Theodora.
Foxcast frequencies disrupted. Initiating setup.
Foxmaster, restore communication with the Navigator's Sanctum. I'm trying to contact the bridge. If anyone can hear me on this frequency, I regroup all available forces and head to the upper decks at once. I repeat, regroup all available forces and head.
Communication protocols breached. Signal latency assessment unavailable. Unable to establish two-way connection. Temporary obnubilation following acute stress. Mobile unit of the Warren Sentinel standing by.
Are you the Warren
Mobile
Sentinel?
unit of the Warren Sentinel, designed as a personal escort of the child of the house and a means of communicating with the rogue trader's subjects. Mobile unit standing by.
I need a weapon. I'm utterly
Distance
defenseless.
from the current location to the nearest arsenal. Initiating situational calculations.
Leave me away from here.
Middle and upper decks. Assuming the probability of safe placement in areas of concentration of armed units. Calculating. To prevent unauthorized units from breaching the warrant chamber, preemptive sealing must be initiated. The mobile unit will start executing the received order immediately after the safety of the warrant is secured.
I'll lay claim
Oh.
to the stars.
Let's seal the chamber.
Master, whatever are you doing in the warrant chamber? How did you... Throne preserve me, what is the meaning of this?
Conrad is a traitor. When we parted ways on the officer's deck, he stunned me somehow and brought me here.
What?
He intended to take revenge on Theodore or something, and praying to reach the warrant is somehow part of that plan.
Oh, holy God, Emperor. I presume he is the one responsible for the mutiny. And, Master, I wish to remind you that you are to refer to the Lord Captain as Lady Theodora.
Openly admitted that he is the mastermind behind the mutiny.
Saints' blood! Then it is small wonder that the heretics are so well organized. I thought his order to seal the passages between decks was his attempt to stop the attackers from spreading to other levels. But now I see the real reason. It was to stop the enforcers from intervening. At least you are alive, and now safe, Master. Alas, I doubt we can afford to look for a compartment to sit out this disaster.
Indeed.
You're in a bad way. I can treat your wounds. I have a Medicaid kit. And, for the love of the throne, now is not a good time to be walking around the decks without means of self-defense. Here.
Yay!
We shall prove
We
it.
are the spearhead of the Imperium.
I won't tolerate weakness.
I'm at your service. Let's patch you up.
Thank you. Now, where were we?
I like Grandpa Navy. He's awesome. All right. Let's put on some armor.
That is a noticeable improvement. Now you're prepared for the trials ahead. The lower decks are teeming with heretics instigating the rabble to revolt. But that is the least of our problems. The ship's enforcers are rounding up the scoundrels and suppressing the resistance. The situation on the middle decks is much worse, although strike teams have already been dispatched there. All communication with the bridge and the engineering bay was lost. So, apart from scattered voxcasts, we have no information to go on.
Very well.
But that is not the worst of it. All these jolts and shaking are most alarming. These are signs that the navigator and the master helmsman are having difficulty translating the ship out of the warp and into real space. I fear that they may have already lost control. We must reach the navigator's sanctum and get a handle on the situation. If we can manage that, some aboard this vessel may yet survive. Lady Theodorus. Which one? The last one I received was about the navigator's sanctum, and that was a good while ago. In any case, let us hope that the Lord Captain is well and safely in charge of the ship's defense.
Navigator
In the meantime,
Sanctum. Very
Mr.
well.
Wolf,
Lead the
absolutely.
way.
The Lord Captain is calling her crew to battle, which means the Vox networks are set up for broadcast transmission, not message exchange. Splendid. While the rogue trader inspires proper resolve to fight in her subjects, you and I shall prove that her trust in us is well deserved.
Let's do it.
Annihilate them!
Crush them!
Not a problem for me. All too easy.
Rookies! Ah!
The hell?
Suits my purposes.
At your beck and I took care of this one.
Shot his own dude. Okay.
I'll pass. I don't have time for this.
One fewer target.
Let's do this.
Enjoy your luck while you still draw breath.
Tried and tested tactics are the best ones. It will be done.
Reduce the dust. Right. Cool. We'll use persuasion. That works.
Victory awaits!
Look no
I
further.
tire of idleness. Let's move. It's about time.
We must go
The
forward.
navigator's sector.
Die, traitors,
And
die.
so, he will enter the halls of the blinded guide and witness the radiance of the final dawn through the cracks and fall victim to a whim of fate.
Hi.
Watch your head. Idira, would it be too much to ask that you phrase your soothsayings plainly for once? That was too close.
Sorry, old man. The voices are so loud I can't even hear myself. They shriek, they sing, they... Oh, Abelard, how they sing!
Okay, you're going crazy.
Lass, personal psyker and diviner of Her Ladyship Theodora von Valensis. Idira?
I'm not drunk, old man. I'm suffering the effects of the warp that is seeping through these walls. I see the ship's fate. To die in the waves of the immaterium, fall under the burning rays of the final dawn. And in the roaring blaze, I see a figure standing. Who is it? I have no answer.
A diviner, are you?
The voices from beyond the threshold whisper to me. Sometimes their murmurs are clear, they grant insight. Sometimes they drive me mad. But I am patient. I know how to listen and discern. But now, with this clamor around me, too many voices, too loud. And you are von Valancius, one of Lady Theodora's heirs. Well then, we finally meet.
Hello? Officer's frequency. To all who can hear me. Those with a weapon in their hands are to gather on the officer's deck at once. I repeat, gather on the officer's deck at once and prepare to launch a counterattack.
That's Edelthrat! Oh, Emperor's Providence! The other heir lives as well. Quickly, we must head to...
Not so fast, old man. If we drown in the warp, Lady Theodora's heirs won't be any good to us. If Edelthrat's like me and hasn't yet surrendered his mind or body to the mercy of the warp, then he can still hold on a little longer without us.
Very well.
Blast it! You're right. First, we need to deal with what is happening here.
What are you doing here?
The whispers called me. The ones I could make out among all the screams and screeches. Those who are rocking this boat hit us where it hurt. They went after the navigator, our guide through the warp. Other whispers called me to the enginarium, but it was too late. I heard the cry of our master Cog, and the silence that followed.
What? You don't mean the Engine Seer Prime is...
Dead.
Said, without a doubt. And the voices wail, heralding countless nightmares, cackling at each soul among the hundreds that are now joining the warp. The shriek from the navigator's sanctum was louder than the rest. And it's better that we saved the navigator than some lever puller from a cooling module or a cook from the middle decks.
All right.
Oh, no. No. Nothing is well about him. Can't you feel the chill crawling on your skin, the eyes watching you. The warp ice has already encased the bulkheads. What follows is calamity. But we're not just going to stand here and take it, are we? The state of things in here suggests there's a navigator around. Maybe one who's crippled or at death's door, but still kicking. And since our skin hasn't peeled off our faces just yet, his third eye must be closed. At worst, it's a little roughed up. So what are we moping around for? Let's go protect that noble mutant while we're still alive.
Aha!
A new challenge
That
for
brave
me?
bugger while he's still living.
None shall stand in my way. See you terminated!
Spare none of them!
Got it.
Already done.
Oh, come on.
Suits my
Really?
purposes. Oh, my ears are ringing.
Right. Thankfully, she has this little ability.
But of course. Be gone! Anything else?
No! Didn't mean to have him skip his turn.
All too easy.
Oh, come on.
I'm not so sure.
Charge and take him out. Way to go, Abelard. The creature's chair appears as if it's become one with its throne. You see pink parchment, like skin stretched between the feet and the limbs that have too many joints for a normal human being. The navigator is breathing heavily, the air whistling as it exits through two dark, gill-like slits in its cheeks. The creature's eyes are shut. Two ordinary eyes are, as well as the third one that sits in the center of its forehead. The servants are dead, but the chamber, thank the Emperor, is still sealed from the warp. Well, we have a chance of leaving this place alive. Address the navigator. Hey, are you alive? The time is short. Are you alright? Fall to your knees, mortals, and behold the final dawn. Came from beyond, his body is not his. Idra's scream is echoed by the silent cries in your head. The unseen creature triumphs at the sight of the navigator succumbing to the paroxysms of corruption. Its march thunders under the burden of hopes. Unseal your hearts, and I will flood your souls with myriads of words and meanings, each one a portent of salvation within me. Run, flee from this place while I still have strength. You can contain the intrusion, but not for long. We must begin the translation, leave the warp, but it can't be done without the master helmsman help. The navigator is still alive, but barely so. What do we do now? Ship can only begin the translation when the assistance of the master helmsman. If he is still alive, it is worth a try. We must get to the bridge, but we'll need support. Good luck, buddy.
I'll lay claim to the stars.
Sorry.
Follow my lead.
Got to get to the officer's deck. So far, this is pretty much what it's like in the Warhammer universe, pretty much. It's just like, people go mad, welcome to Cthulhian madness all over the place. This is grimdark to the max here. And we aren't the Space Marines, like the super duper human soldiers that can survive.
It's all over for you.
I shall pity not your enemies. I shall heed not their pleas.
Oh, here comes the Bilternut, the Bolternut.
I shall betray not your tenets, nor stray once from them. Take not your gaze from me. Leave me not without your grace.
I told you he would protect us.
My God, my light, my emperor.
Nuns with guns, the sisters of battle. The white-haired warrior turns to face you, her dark eyes blazing, the weapon quivers in her hand. For a brief moment, it seems she is not going to stop with and will instead continue eliminating every target she sees, starting with you.
Sister Argenta! Sister Argenta, it is a relief to see you. We require all the forces we can muster.
Your face, it is unfamiliar. Who are you?
Isaac the Gamer von Valencius, Lord Captain's
The
heir.
hour is dark and daunting. The ship abounds with corruption. The faces of friends who are twisted by sneers of heresy. The eyes of comrades ignite with the archenemy's hunger. I will do what I must to halt the advance of the dark forces. But in these dire moments, little can be trusted. So I must know, why are you here?
Sister, I beg of you. Now is not the time for interrogations. The ship is under attack by heretics. We've been betrayed by our esteemed Master of Whispers. Edelthrad the Heir is waiting for our aid, and Lord Captain Theodora is expecting a report on our success. We are here to deal with the situation, so I suggest we all do just that.
Do not even think to insinuate that I am one of the traitors. I will not let such an affront
That
slide.
answer does you credit. Only the truly righteous would be so provoked by the accusation of heresy. I cannot wait to rain righteous fire down upon each and every heretic.
What is the warrior of the Adeptus Sororitas doing on a rogue traitor ship? The orders serve the Ecclesiarchy, do they not?
Sister Argenta is a guest of the Lord Captain. And that story deserves its own time and conversation. Under more appropriate circumstances.
Enough
Indeed.
idle chatter. I am where I must be, and that will suffice.
We must get to the main hall
Through
of the
this
deck.
door, I shall join you, for it is my duty to the God Emperor to destroy this heresy.
Yay!
We will follow. For now, we will hold off any heretics who might try to crawl in through the cracks to join the main assault. And we'll take a look at the generators while we're at it. Those villains made a mess of the cables. Oh, I wish we had a Tectomat with us. But we'll see what we can do without one.
Good to hear it. Sister?
Let's do it.
Ready. May Terra's light illuminate our path through fire and darkness.
Time.
She has a bolter, so I think she's good.
I won't tolerate
To
weakness.
war, then.
A new challenge for me? Victory awaits!
Here we go again. I will level you!
Of course, our melee dude is gonna be right here. Right.
Faith without deeds is worthless.
Fight like this!
Why did it have to hammer into our guy?
I refuse. Doubt is for the weak.
Zappy zappy!
Was that you? Be gone!
At your beck and call. Target well struck. Victory is imminent. Time to prove my mettle.
Right.
Suits my purposes.
Rejoice in battle! As the Emperor commands, I act.
Oh, come on.
I'll do it.
Anything is?
Zappy zappy!
Well, well.
Of course, more heretics come up. Can't reach the target. Really?
Indeed. One fewer target.
My tactics are flawless.
Of course it makes me mad.
Guided by faith! As the Emperor commands, I act.
Why?
I'll do it.
It's like, no, you don't get to...
As the Emperor commands, I act.
Not like this!
By the manner of their death, we shall know them.
But of course.
My faith shields me.
Not a problem. Opposing me was your biggest mistake.
The enemies of the Emperor will be undone! I will not! Injuries will
yourself.
not slow me.
Cover me! Not this Greyer's job. What an unfortunate turn of fate. Can I fall back now?
I'm literally standing behind him. Or her. Like, how?
Suits my purposes.
Doubt is for the weak. Each strike is a prayer.
What is this foreboding? Be gone.
What? Why is the game doing this to me all of a sudden?
God Emperor, move through me! Be the fire in my heart! As the Emperor commands, eradicated.
I'll lay claim to the stars. None shall stand in my way.
It won't open. The damned heretics have blocked the door, trembling at the thought of our approach.
A melter charge will help. There's probably one around here somewhere.
I won't tolerate weakness. Done. It's about time.
Okay, so I think we
Victory
got
awaits!
both the cheeses here.
I did fine. I rise to the occasion. A new challenge for me. Done. None shall stand in my way.
We'll take that.
Excellence matters. Follow my lead.
Woot woot. Blow stuff up.
The Emperor favors me today.
Woot.
I'll lay claim to the stars.
Poor dude. Save game is impossible.
It's about time.
Theodora, are you lost, my heir? An apparition, a sorceress apparition, tricky warp. Aren't you in pain? Ha! Pain is but weakness. I don't know about that. I can lead you out of these flames, show you a path, rid you of pain, and give you a weapon so that you may defeat your enemy. Besides, your mouth begins to salivate. Each word Theodora speaks is like music to your ears. Do not listen to the abomination. To the void with you. We need to follow Lady Theodora before we suffocate in this inferno. Iconoclast. I will lead my people out of this mess.
Victory awaits.
Where did it go? The thing that was standing in front of us in the fire? I could have sworn.
Yeah, we can give somebody an extra turn.
To the same place all unholy visions go. Do you want to follow it, witch? The Emperor sets my path.
None shall stand in my way.
I woke up.
Look, they say a little bit of humility never hurt anyone. I help others better themselves by wholeheartedly humiliating them at every step. I won't tolerate
Ballistic
weakness.
skill.
I better myself through my service.
Bring the tower down.
Follow my lead.
too late. We are too late. Or perhaps Edelthrad and his escort never made it here. Which would be even worse.
Or they could be fighting on the bridge as we speak. Without us.
Possibly.
My lord, I beg your pardon for interrupting. The people are asking for orders. You came back to save us. So now we will follow you through thick and thin.
To the bridge. If Edelthrad is there, then he requires immediate assistance. I say there is one thing that I find most troubling. The Lord Captain's voxcasts. They are still coming in, even though it would make sense for Lady Theodora to be on the bridge right now, at the head of the counter-assault. I feel uneasy. What if the Lord Captain is besieged in her own chambers? With your permission, I suggest that we confirm for ourselves that she is not. We can use the same elevator that Lady Theodora and Mort headed for earlier.
Agreed.
A new challenge for me? Halt! I noticed something. I'll lay
Cast your eye
claim
there.
to the stars.
Let's go to the Lord Captain's quarters, see what's up. But I'm not eager to fall for this nonsense. Uh-oh.
Victory awaits!
Something is wrong. Theodora von Valencia's body is sprawled on a large, blood-drenched desk. The arch-militant's corpse, still clutching a weapon, is slumped against one of the bulkheads.
Emperor, accept thy faithful souls.
No! Lord Captain, I didn't hear a thing. Not a whisper, not a breath. It was so loud. Why didn't I foresee this?
Lord Captain. Who would even dare? Unless that rat, Voidsphere.
I doubt it. Voidfear wished humiliation and suffering upon Theodora, not a swift death.
It could have happened in the heat of battle. Not to mention that Mort was here, and he would have protected Lady Theodora to the last. How could Mort have failed her so terribly? The Arch-Militant was born on a death world. He had lightning-fast reflexes.
Unless something terrible came. Something that he could not fight. Moving closer to the body, the cause of death is apparent. What ended the rogue trader's life was an auto pistol shot. An extraordinarily accurate one at that. Theodora's face bears an expression of surprise, the last emotion she experienced in life. Something on the floor catches an eye, a heap of blood-spattered parchments and scrolls that must have fallen off the desk. As you lean down for a closer look, you notice something else. Small shards of glass scattered on the floor. Inspect the papers. Our Imperium. And sends a shiver down your spine. The authority of the letter is addressed to Theodora von Valencia, signed in the seal of one of the Holy Ordos of Impero's Inquisitors. The Emperor's Inquisition, the secret police of the Imperium, that relentlessly hunts heretics, xenos, and other enemies of humanity. Inspect the shards by the desk. It is difficult to see what was broken. The object fell on the floor, but it appeared as much as you can ascertain. Upon closer examination, the shards appear iridescent rather than completely transparent. as if they had been submerged in Prometheum. Adira, what do these shards tell you?
I see streaks of color, luminescence, blue lights, faces drawing closer. Lady Theodora and Conrad and what is that? Something dark, enormous. Oh, this glass thing was something foul, that's for sure. Tainted witchcraft.
Can I tell if Argentina's remark is directed at the glass shards or Adira herself? Examine the arch militant. Oh, upon pistol shot went straight through the Mort's forehead, spraying the floor and the furniture with blood. The safety on the arch militant's weapon is off. The killer must have been split second quicker than he. Theodora, would you try touching Theodora? You might be able to see the killer through her eyes.
It doesn't work like that. I can try to read the memories of objects, but dead bodies are a different story. Something like that would require her soul. And after what we saw on the officer's deck, I won't risk searching for it in the warp.
We had best spin our way.
The crucible of battle calls to me once more.
No, wait!
Idira, you can't bring her back. Let her go.
You'd give up so easily, old man? I expected as much from the sister. It's not like she has a heart. But you? Oh no. I'll get to the bottom of this. I'll find the one responsible for murdering the Lord Captain. And when I do, that scum will regret the day they were born.
What if they were never born? What you gonna do then?
It's about time. None shall stand in my way.
Your Emperor will save you!
Feel my wrath!
Let's do this. Right.
A tactically sound approach. Reduce to dust! At your beck and call.
Not my specialty. I'll pass. Already done.
Anything else?
Zap away, Adara. Okay, so I have a shotgun. That's when.
On it.
Congratulations, you shot your own
Take care
guy.
of this one.
Death to you, buddy.
You attack. It will be done.
Nice work, yeah. Little bird.
Never wavered in the face of adversity. All too easy.
Take a shotgun blast to the first.
Not a problem for me.
I will bathe this battlefield in righteous fury.
Come on, sister,
Faith
let's shoot
without
it.
deeds is worthless.
One last second scream.
What an unfortunate turn of fate.
Follow my lead.
Target. Instant exposure. Exposes weaknesses at 0 cost. Okay, that works. Firearm mastery. Rapid reload. Whenever alien attacks the enemy, deals additional. That sounds good. Toughness damage is great because it reduces the amount of damage we have to do to bust through. Finest hour. The officer grants an ally an extra turn with full AP and MP. During the extra turn, there is no attack limit. Commanding voice. Yes.
A new challenge for me?
Yes.
We must act.
We're taking back this ship, lads.
I did fine.
The first sacrifice opens the eye. The second sacrifice draws its gaze.
Help has arrived. Too late to change the tide, I'm afraid. Theodora van Valesius is dead. I found her in the Arch-Militant in her study. God, Emperor, preserve us. The rogue trader is dead. The ship has lost her captain. And the house is head. No matter, the ritual Conrad is performing there, the warp is too strong. I cannot withstand it. My body is changing with every second. The warp is ringing in the air. In the end, we will perish in the warp, along with the Warrant and all the dynasties there. The enemy of humanity is triumphant. I've seen it before. We'd better get away from him. The changes are already accelerating. I forbid you to the very thought of yielding. Only by resigning to your fate will you truly suffer defeat. Words worthy of a righteous soul. Save the lofty words for later, will you? Navigator's ready to take the ship out of the warp. If he gets help from the bridge, then we have no right to bow our heads. You can see the Conrad Gavir clearly in the gloom of the bridge. The broken blade he is holding is stained with drops of what seems to have been the pearlescent glimmer to them. Gavir, you duplicitous cur, the rogue traitor's death will be avenged. What? Theodore is dead? No, that can't be. Not now. I still haven't. The ritual will not be completed. I'll take care of it. And you, see to it the void ship breaks free from the warp. Watch over our realm, and farewell. Ethelthred, dear, don't.
Your ritual won't be finished, heretic!
Ugh.
Beware the ire of the witch.
Crap, I'm still wielding a shotgun. Well, that's not good. Kill the heretic.
Nothing I can't do.
Rejoice in battle! As the Emperor commands. Doubt is for the weak.
Ow.
For the glory of the Imperium!
Anything is. What an unfortunate turn of fate.
Let's do this.
Victory!
Of course, it heals itself.
Stop it! Pain cleanses the body.
Already done. All too easy.
Not a problem for me.
Administration is a holy task. I'll do it.
Horus is just devouring his own dudes.
Why did I not perceive you? Stop mocking me. We'll do it.
From the ashes, I rose in the cold embrace. Deliver us.
I should have foretold that.
High momentum.
Suits my purposes.
Indeed.
Curse you, miscreant!
Come on, you big ugly thing, go down.
On it.
Insulting!
It will be done. I'm not interested. The healing is much appreciated.
Pink shotgun to the face. Hey, you have an extra turn.
Will do.
At least that's the last of its goons it can eat.
Was it you? Or
Someone else can do this. I will do my duty.
Suits my purposes.
It will be done.
Oh, come on.
All too easy.
Really? It just dodges a shotgun blast? That's not cool, man.
victory awaits.
No, wait. There we go. But to say, our sect should probably have some pretty darn good willpower. Yes to the ballistic skill. Camaraderie, yes, it'll definitely help. Yeah, we're gonna want some of that. We can do a talent. There we go. Yes, we're gonna want our melee guy to be more melee. So that's everybody that we can level up.
It's about time.
The air is dead.
Master Helmson, system status report. We need to re-establish contact with the Navigator's Sanctum. It's our only chance of escaping the war. Your words seem to knock the officers out of their stupor, and their air around you fills with voices and commands being issued. You hear someone sobbing, one of the survivors buckling under the stress. Abelard cuffs the crying officer without even looking. Restore the box channel to the Navigator's Sanctum. Ready the crew. Prepare for transition to real space. You may call me superstitious, but just transition is not a good time to disregard rules. You're the only one who speaks for House Valencius. You may not be Lord Captain, but you, more than anyone else, deserve to take our place in the ritual that is about to commence. I'm ready. Let's begin. Theodora, the image before you is hazy, swaying in sorcerer's currents, invisible to the mortal eyes, as if whatever is beneath this thin shell is constantly changing while still remaining the same. It has taken on the guise of Theodora, but the false rogue trader's eye reveals the entity's true, real nature. One of Theodora's eyes engulfed in the otherworldly fire, the other, a vessel of ancient evil, pours into you. The voice seeps directly into your brain without ever reaching your ears, and this voice booms with all the horrors of the war. Who are you to oppose destiny itself for the sake of lives that are not your own? So many threads stretch between you and other creatures of your world, pitiful, worthless links, ready to shatter at the slightest touch, a muddled, erratic, pointless tangle. It resonates and merges with the voices that have already dug their foul roots in your consciousness. A moment later, you realize that these are all these voices are the myriad manifestations of the same call that finally invaded your mind. You are to blame for Theodora's death. I am the beginning of the end, all that courses in between. I am the voice of truth that is destined to triumph. From this triumph is the terminal point of every twisted maze fate. The aspirant vowed to return with a trophy, a relic that could serve the edge of daybreak. That fate was assured in the steps chosen, and yet you broke the unbreakable when you took the aspirant's place. I see you on the day when the final day rises over the Iron World. I see you by my side on that day of my resurrection. Your image is woven into the tapestry of things to come. I am the will of the weaver of destinies, and today I will weave a new thread of elusive possibilities and fickle chances, the thread that will lead you out the maw of irreversibility, the thread that will help you find the keys to salvation, the thread that will guide you in the weapon of your return to me. The path is set, child of dawn. The thread is woven. Follow it, servant of mine. The navigator gave us his life battling the storm that nearly claimed the Von Valencia's flagship. We will honor his memory along with those who died this day. Seneschal, will you tell us now, who is that? Where's the Lord Captain?
As First Officer, it is my duty to inform you with the greatest regret and indelible sorrow that Lord Captain Theodora von Valancius is dead. May her memory never fade from the annals of the dynasty.
It's very clear Zeech is behind this crap.
By right of blood succession, and with the absence of other kin who could challenge this decision,
say nothing.
It is hereby declared that the successor to Theodora von Valancius is her heir, the rightful inheritor of the warrant of trade, and the title of Rogue Trader. The official ascension ceremony will be held at a later time. In the interim, have you lost your tongues? Hail your lord. It is because of his toils that we all still live. The deed is done, Master. My apologies. I meant to say Lord Captain.
Woo! We are the Lord Captain now.
The treachery of the Master of Whispers was fruitless, but victory came at a great cost. Lord Captain Theodora von Valancius perished along with her heir, Edelthrad, and thousands of crew members. Yet hope remained. For the second in line to the Rogue Trader dynasty survived. And through the strength of his resolve, saved those who were counting on him for protection.
Well, mine and a whole bunch of other people. Alright, well, I think now is a good time for us to end the video, because I'm pretty sure this is going to be a long one. It's definitely been an eventful play so far. I'm enjoying this Rogue Trader game, I really am. Well then, your lordship. You cannot but notice that Seneschal does not know how to talk to you or where to begin. This hesitation brings involuntary smirk to your face, as though someone else entirely is gloating at the old officer's confusion. Seeing your smile, Abelard pulls himself together. You must now hold your first officer's briefing in your new role as Lord Captain. For many of those who are about to join us on the bridge, this will also be their first briefing. We sustained massive losses among the senior and middle-ranking officers. Some posts have had to be filled by deputy, while others go unfulfilled entirely. Now the deck clans are deciding who will take over the leaderless crews. How did we come to lose so many officers? It appears that the heretics were deliberately departing the vessel's command. They knew exactly whom they were looking for and where they could be found, which is unsurprising given that their informant on board was our own Master of Whispers. What is the agenda for this meeting? As I was about to say, we're about to end the game. Then the game throws me in this. Okay. Reports on the condition of the ship and crew. The Lord Captain is not usually drawn away from her important affairs. I am still receiving updates from across the ship, and they are not encouraging. Getting this bird to fly could take an gargantuan effort. Even so far as you're personally negotiating with the authorities of the system we are in currently, so prepare to hear a bevy of complaints and excuses. Your Lordship, take this opportunity to take a good look at the officers who work 6 decks away from the bridge. And they in turn will have the honor of beholding the visage of the Lord Captain. I am ready. Summon the officers. Dozen eyes bore into you, the expressions revealing restraint, joy, curiosity, and wariness. Perhaps you would introduce those present, Abelard. The Voxmaster, Vigdis. This course set by the Lord Captain and monitors the void around us to ensure that we do not stray into an asteroid field or a pirate threat. Hail, Lord Captain. This here ship is good as home to me, so rest assured she's in safe hand. I'll die before I let her come to any grief. Looks like she came into a lot of grief, buddy, and you're still standing. And lastly, our High Factorum Generis Banrock, who oversees supplies, procurement, and the general material well-being of the ship. It is an honor, your lordship. You may trust me with all matters considering your comfort. Everything will be done to the highest standard. In the second row, we have 3 officers charged with overseeing the ship's vital functions. The Master of Ordnance is responsible for the artillery aboard, the Infernus Master, whose crew or to prevent and extinguish fire on the ship, and lastly, the Drives Master, servant of the Omnissiah. The 3 officers salute you. The Infernus Master does so with confidence, while the Master of Ordnance betrays nervously. The Driver's Master offers a salute resembling a dance involving the complicated manipulation of the tech priest's mechadendrites. Thank you, Aldebrid. Greetings to you all. I would wish to hear the Infernus Master's report. Yes, Lord Captain. I can report that all fires across all decks have been extinguished. The preliminary damage assessment in terms of material losses and crew casualties have been completed. Results have been submitted to the Seneschal and the High Factorum. Posts passed to him after the previous Infernus Master and 3 next deputies expired in the line of duty. The lad is managing well so far. He can take the heat, so to speak. Damn! High Factorum, what do you have to report? We are toiling day and night to compile a full account of the losses. The task will require next to no involvement from your lordship. I will personally ensure that all damaged components are given into the tech priest's hands. For attention, that all supplies are replaced. There is only one resource that I cannot replenish single-handedly, and that is people. We have lost more than 2,000 crew members, and unfortunately the number is not confined to the scum from the lower decks, which are easily replaced, but includes trained professionals. Keep in mind, folks, that this ship is not only thousands of years old, it's the size of a freaking city. So, you know, we will be able to make up our losses on the nearest planet. Rakid Minoris, however, the whole system, in fact, belongs to the Winter Scale Rogue Trader Dynasty. You cannot simply begin recruiting on the planet without first coming to an understanding with the governor. In that respect, I and powerless. Negotiating at this level are a matter of the rogue trader. Especially true given Calidus Winterscale's penchant for attacking first and asking questions later, and the kind of thick-skulled thugs he usually installs as governors on his planet. Rumple's Edelborn frowning. Drive Masters, I will hear from you now. Zira Toller. Lord Captain, the foes that set upon the noble void ship destroyed the requisite repositories of hundreds of machine spirits. The great warp engine entrusted into my charge is unharmed, thank the Messiah, but its spirit mourns its dead brethren. We have not identified a prayer protocol capable of assuaging its sorrow and anger. Yeah, so we lost the Magos. Sucked. Helmsman, deliver your report. Right, you are, Lord Captain. To cut a long story short, the outlook is bleak. The ship's sound, more or less, but without her engineer Prime and Navigator, who fell in battle, we have no way out of the system. We tried to put so much as a toe inside the warp, I don't know what will happen first. Our warp drive being torn to pieces, or all of us melting into the bulkheads. That's the risk of literally traveling through hell. Your lordship, if you will allow me to interject. When we arrived in the system, my crew followed standard protocols and conducted a count of all available communication channels in the region. One of them was a Navus Novali station. The station maintains complete Vox silence, but its presence here inspires hope. To have located a navigator in the very same system is an incredible stroke of luck. A true blessing from the God Emperor. Hi, kitty. Meow. Meow. Aww. Master of Ordnance, do you have anything to report? Hi, kitty. Meow. Nope, my job's simple. Maintain the arsenal and fire where I'm told. But just ask anyone. We've got no crew. No able crew. No Lord Captain. Master of Ordnance, you forget yourself. So what? The ship's in ruins. Every second officer's dead. And now we've got Green Lord Captain who's supposed to lead us to void knows where. Silence! Enforcers, seize this mutineer. Iconoclast, stand down, release him. I have no intention of punishing a man for a moment of weakness, not after the terrible attack we endured. Cease your sniveling. You disgrace yourself and your entire clan. Enough the heretics are over. Let us resume. Master of Ordnance stands up, wiping the blood from his broken nose. His face is the picture of shock. What just happened seems to be dawning on him only now, and the knowledge of the fate he so narrowly escaped. To summarize, we have sustained serious losses in crew members, and we require a new engineer, prior, and navigator. Is this all preventing us from continuing the voyage? Precisely, Lord Captain, but bear in mind this will not be the end of our trials. The ship's systems must be properly inspected for major damage, which can only be carried out at Footfall Station. Home to the only dockyard in the sector, but we will never reach Footfall without first resolving the 3 immediate problems. Thank you for your reports. I would be honored to fulfill the Inquisitor's commission. What is it that he asked Theodora? Aha. Lady Theodora was to seek out the Lord Inquisitor's right-hand man, one Henrik von Kalitz, an interrogator. You understand all I know is that he is somewhere in the system, and we must find him and offer him whatever assistance he requires, then deliver him to Footfall in the Furibundus system. Finding him without any information to go on will be a difficult indeed, but an Inquisitor is an important individual. The authorities in the system, either the novice nobilite or the governor of Recognize might know something. That is all of it. Your lordship, you have a great deal of work ahead of you. It is a mere taste of the daily burden of a rogue trader. Soon you must take up the reins von Valencia's protectorate. Idra, sister in Argentina, explain yourselves. Psyker is suffering some ailment, dark madness. He insists on seeing the rogue trader. I judge that it would be unwise to leave her unsupervised. I was also hoping to approach you with a personal request, but it can wait. Speak with me when you have time, rogue trader. Idra, come to your senses. Damn it! Idra presses her fingers to her temples in desperation. Your lordship, here's the thing. I was trying to see the immediate future and it hit me so hard my head is still spinning. Something very strange is heading our way, and I can't make out what it is. No matter how hard I try, a single word is all I can make out. Daybreak. Or maybe it's dawn and it's ringing like an echo. Like a bell. But if it's daybreak, then why is it so dark? You cannot extract any information from of value from a single word. Can you tell me something? Anything else, mistress? Tell us. No, not yet anyway. The voices are going berserk, all shouting at once. I can't make sense of any of it. As soon as I know or sense anything, I'll report about. Alright? Lord Captain, if you want me to take a closer look into your future, find me on the bridge and you can talk. Lady Theodora was well served by my whispers on many occasions. I'm sure you would benefit from them as well. The Psyker's bitten lips stretch into a weary smile. If there is nothing else of value to report, I declare this briefing concluded. It is time to get to work. We have kitty. We have a kitty. He's so fluffy and cute. Alright. Now we can end the video. I hope you guys enjoyed the video so far, and I'll see you in the next one.